Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. This afternoon from Nelson Park here in Johnstown. It's another Patriot League clash as the Brush Bee Diggers take on the Resurrection Christian Cougars. I'm John Beltran in a rematch of a game held last month in Brush, where the Bee Diggers won an exciting affair 2-1 in 8 innings on Trent Mount's RBI single. The Bee Diggers playing their second game in a span of 5 days, defeated Eaton yesterday 9-2. Brush is 4-3 in the Patriot League, 9-7 overall. And Resurrection Christian at 6-1 in league play, same record as Valley and University. They are 9-4 on the season as they will play a more condensed schedule. They've still got 3 games after today. And the Bee Diggers have a couple Thursday and Friday at home against University and Strasburg. We'll set the Bee Diggers starting lineup momentarily as the Bee Diggers yesterday had one of their better run production type of games. But again, they've been doing that more at home than on the road, so we'll see what happens here. The Bee Diggers starting lineup is brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan. Locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Available 24/7 for your banking needs. That's Equitable Savings and Loan. Batting first for the Bee Diggers will be the center fielder Justin Griffith. The right fielder Jaron Peterson hits second. The second baseman Caleb Cox hits third. Batting cleanup is the pitcher Trent Mount. The left fielder Ryan Fergus hits fifth. The DH Ben Brown hits sixth. Gunnar Guzman, the third baseman, bats seventh. Batting eighth is the first baseman Ryan Dunker. And Colin Cole, the catcher, bats ninth. Coach Romero of Resurrection Christian, Kevin Fergus of Brush, still meeting at home plate. 3:05 down the right field line, a little bit deeper down the left field line, but these are, well, it's strange because it's 385 straight away and 400 in the gaps. Normally you see those numbers a little bit flip-flopped on what right now is a 60-degree type of afternoon on a Tuesday here in Johnstown. Well, the Bee Diggers are playing their second game of the year on the road at a different field than originally intended. They didn't play at Bigfoot Turf Farms when they took on Valley. And they played that at a new baseball field in LaSalle. And now playing this game instead of on the Resurrection Christian campus in Loveland, playing in Johnstown. Well, there's a long explanation here at the plate. Normally they meet for about 2 or 3 minutes. And momentarily Resurrection Christian will take the field here. And we'll get this game underway. Again, the Bee Diggers are going for their 10th win, and Resurrection Christian is vying for their 10th win as well. But the Bee Diggers have 3 more losses than the Cougars. Yeah, I'm wondering what they're discussing here. There's supposed to be a 4 o'clock first pitch. But this is a more extended meeting between the 2 umpires and the 2 head coaches. Once again, this is the final road game of the regular season for Brush, as they'll be home on Thursday against University. And then on Friday against Strasburg. And they'll meet University for the first time in Strasburg here for the second time after defeating them in Strasburg 3 Saturdays ago, 7-6 in 8 innings. So here we go. Well, they're still meeting. I thought they had shook hands, and that was it. Griffith will be inside the batter's box soon, now hitting .407. Justin's been hot lately. Yesterday he had 2 more hits, scored a couple of runs as the Bee Diggers defeated Eaton by 9-2 score. If they can wait long enough, then maybe the rain will hit at some point. We're on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com right here from Nelson Ballfields in Johnstown. All right, I wonder what they were discussing besides dinner plans. I mean, that was long. That was very long. And the Cougars about to take the field. We'll set the defense here momentarily for Resurrection Christian. The first baseman is Hayden Siebers. The second baseman is Jesse Cross. Jeremy Hertfeld is the third baseman. Over at short is Jackson Romero. The left fielder is Andrew Iwanicki. The center fielder, Andrew Hernandez. Nate Santini's in right. Behind the plate is Chase Hinson. And Bryn Hayden, a right-hander, is on the mound. There's definitely a slight chance of rain today. Conditions pretty similar to yesterday, although out here we don't have the wind that we did in Brush yesterday at times during that game. And the one thing that was successful for the Bee Diggers yesterday, they got off to that quick start as they scored 3 runs in the opening inning and won that game going away 9-2 and cementing that with 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brent Hayden pitched against Brush the first time, and again the Bee Diggers won that game 2-1 in 8 innings as Jaron Peterson went the distance there as he did yesterday. The opening pitch is brought to you by Builders by Design, the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. All right, so Justin Griffith from the left side will step in momentarily. And again, hitting over 400. And he's been a key member here in this lineup out of the leadoff spot. We'll be getting this game underway about 7 or 8 minutes tardy. And Hayden is done with his warm-ups, and Justin Griffith will be stepping to the plate here for the Bee Diggers. So here is Griffith from the left side with a big-time open stance. And the opening pitch from Hayden is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. We'll see a fastball changeup and breaking ball combination here. 1-0. And that changeup right there for a strike down the middle. The count is leveled at 1-1. Jaron Peterson on deck, followed by Caleb Cox outside. Again, looked like he took something off at 2 balls and 1 strike. It's a big, strong right-hander. All the Cougars wearing those stirrups. Now, yesterday, T-Money wore them for Brush, and that is on the outside corner. Again, that's a stretched out outside corner. The count is at 2-2. And Griffith awaits the pitch. Swing and a foul to the screen. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to Justin Griffith, the leadoff hitter for the Bee Diggers. Henson lays down the sign and the offering, and that's up and away. 3-2, and the one thing that Griffith is doing is just extending the pitch count already in the early going. 3-2 offering. Swung on and lifted towards left field, and now drifting back and to his right and making the catch is Andrew Iwanicki. Misjudged it initially, but there's 1 down as Griffith is retired. And that'll send up Jaron Peterson. Peterson hitting .250, had an RBI yesterday in a 7-run victory. Here's the wind and pitch. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes to the Bee Digger right fielder. And the offering, and that is upstairs as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Hayden ready, and the pitch. And that is on the outer half at the knees. Took something off it. It's 2-1. Just underway here in Johnstown. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Count levels at 2-2. Here to Jaron Peterson. Wind and pitch. Swung on and line towards right field. Coming in and having the ball go right by Miss Santini. Misplayed that ball. Peterson's around first, headed for second. Now he's going to hold up right there. Well, I'll call that a base hit and an error. I mean, the effort was a little bit lackluster over there by Santini, so we'll give him a base hit. Didn't keep the ball in front of him, and so the Bee Diggers pick up their first hitter, Caleb Cox. Yeah, I don't know if he was expecting a hop, but it didn't happen for him. 283 is Cox's average. The stretch, hitting for the left side, the pitch. And he took something off it for a strike. Down the middle, belt high, it's 0-1. The stretch by Hayden, off of second is Peterson, the pitch. Upstairs with a fastball, the count levels at 1-1 strike. Right after this game, well, a little bit further than right after, the Rockies and Padres. Won't have Rockies on deck till 7:30 in San Diego. And Hayden delivers, swung on and fouled off to the left. And with a changeup on the outer half, it's 1-2 strikes. Here to Caleb Cox with Trent Mount on deck. Henson lays down the sign. Long pause in the pitch, and that is outside. Try to spot it on the corner. It's 2-2. And the Bee Diggers yesterday scored 3 runs in the opening inning to propel them to that 3-1 lead. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Top of the first here in Johnstown. And Hayden delivers. Swung on and chopped slowly on the right side. The first baseman Siebers tossing to the pitcher, covering in time. Advancing to third is Peterson on the 3-1. And there's 2 down. 2 down here for Trent Mount, the team leader, with 21 runs batted in, hitting .318. And yesterday drilled a 2-run homer in the first. Here's the stretch by Hayden. And the pitch. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Trent Mount. And the offering. And he swings and lines it into right center field for a base hit. Here comes Jaron Peterson. He will step on home plate. It's RBI number 22 this season for Trent Mount. And the Bee Diggers break out on top of the first. It's 1-0. And that'll bring up Ryan Fergus. Fergie began the season red hot. He's second on the team with 11 RBIs, hitting .327. Mount with a 2-step lead, the pitch. Swing and a miss on the off speed. No balls and 1 strike. Fergus steps out to compose himself a bit there. And the offering way outside with a breaking ball. And the count levels at 1-1 to Fergus. With Ben Brown on deck. Again, Mount with the lead. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Over the heart of the plate, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here to the number 5 hitter in the Bee Digger lineup, Ryan Fergus. The Bee Diggers are going for the rare season sweep of the Cougars. Tough to beat this team twice in one season. They got lots of talent year after year. Fergus awaiting the pitch. Runner takes off. There's a step off. Now the throw to second, the slide, and Mount is going to be out. Tagged out by Romero. So he is caught stealing. 1-6. And the inning is over. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. The Bee Diggers won, and Resurrection Christian is coming to bat on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com, where the Bee Diggers lead Resurrection Christian by a score of 1-0. And we'll set the lineup here for the Cougars after Trent Mount's RBI single in the top of the first inning. Jesse Cross, the second baseman, bats the short. Jack Romero hits and Hayden bats third. The cleanup hitter is the first baseman, Hayden Siebers. Chase Hinson, the catcher, bats fifth. Andrew Iwanicki, the left fielder, bats sixth. Nate Santini is the seventh hitter playing right. The third baseman, Jeremy Hertfeld, bats eighth. And Andrew Hernandez, the center fielder, bats ninth. Defensively for Brush, Ryan Dunker's at first. The second baseman is Caleb Cox. Gunnar Guzman's at third. The shortstop is Nick Wellen. Ben Brown, as Coach Fergus talked about yesterday, does have a shoulder injury. He cannot throw the ball very well from that position. So Wellen, the freshman, getting his first start there. Ryan Fergus is in left. The center fielder is Justin Griffith. Jaron Peterson in right. Colin Cole is behind the plate. And right-hander Trent Mount. He's had a darn good season. Is on the hill. It was nearly a month ago that Mount pitched a gem. 8 innings of shutout baseball and a 1-0 9-inning victory at Faith Christian. That was a month of April where the Bee Diggers played 4 extra inning games. Mount's 1-1 with a .75 earned run average. And here we go to the opening hitter, Jesse Cross, batting from the right side. And the pitch, and that's upstairs. Oh, for a strike. Wow. A little break there. Looked like it was a little bit up in the zone. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering, and that's right there on the inside corner on that changeup. It is 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes here to Cross. And the pitch. Swung on and grounded slowly left side. Wellen has a big hop, and it basically eats him up, goes into left field. And got to score that an error. I mean, the ball kind of ate him up, but he let the ball play him. Got to charge that baseball. And both teams have now committed an error. And that'll send up Jackson Romero. That's the inexperience of the freshman out there. And that came in an 0-2 pitch. 2-step lead at first for Cross. Now he extends it a bit. The stretch by Mount. Squaring to bunt the pitch. And that's bunted up the first base side. Excellent bunt. Mount's got to chase it down, gloves it, and underhands to first for the out. The sacrifice is successful. 1-3. And advancing to second is Cross, and there's 1 down. For Bryn Hayden, the opposing pitcher, another right-handed hitter for Resurrection Christian. Bee Diggers scored in the first on an RBI single from Trent Mount. And Mount out of the windup. Yeah, he's got to step off. He's losing focus out there. And now, luckily, just in time before he committed a walk to stretch, he stepped off the mound and reassets. The pitch is a fastball outside as he resets. It's 1 ball and no strikes. With Siebers on deck. Wind picking up just a bit here in Johnstown. And the offering swung on. That is popped up on the right side. Who's going to call for that? The first baseman, Dunker, has the ball drifting towards him. And the ball goes behind him and into fair territory, now into foul territory. Yeah, that ball landed. Didn't that land fair? Yeah, that's a base hit. Yeah, and no advance there at second, but that was badly misplayed by Dunker. He looked over at Cox, and the ball kept drifting. You got to read the wind there. Now the Bee Diggers, even though that scored a base hit, have blown a couple of plays here in the bottom of the first inning. That the ball went behind the bag and over Dunker. Didn't really get underneath the baseball. The stretch and pitch swung on. That is popped up, but that's out of play on the left side. Hayden Siebers, he homered in that 2-1 Brush victory. And one of the downfalls of the Bee Diggers all season when they've lost has been defense. And right now, those are 2 plays that could have been made that were not made. Stretch by Mount in the pitch. Changeup is down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike, and Siebers is one tough hitter to retire. Yeah, you can never give up on a ball hit on the right side from a right-handed hitter when it's twisting like that. Swung on and fisted slowly on the ground to second baseman Cox, and he throws to first for the out. The runners advance as Siebers is retired. A nice pitch as Mount jammed Siebers. And that'll send up Chase Hinson. Now Hinson, unfortunately for Brush, was 2 for 2 when they met the first time, so he handled Peterson, one of the few Cougar hitters to handle Peterson. The pitch bounces in, blocked by Cole. 1 ball and no strikes. On deck is Iwanicki. The Bee Diggers up 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning in Johnstown. And the pitch, and that is just outside. Does have a base open, 2 balls and no strikes. At third is Cross. Hayden at second. And the pitch, and that's on the inside corner. It's 2-1. Threw that one belt level there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the wind again. And the wind already played a huge role on a pop-up that landed for a base hit. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and fouled off the end of the bat at the plate on a changeup. It's 2-2. Well, let's see if T-Money can throw the big pitch here and retire Hinson. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. With the Bee Diggers up by a digit in the bottom of the first inning. And Colin Cole out to talk to his pitcher. All right, here we go. Mount out of the stretch. Long pause. And the pitch, and that's upstairs. 3-2. Money pitch coming up here for T-Money. And the 3-2 offering, and the breaking ball hit him. Well, it would have been ball 4 anyway. But it scored as a hit by pitch, and the bases are loaded for Iwanicki. He had just 1 plate appearance against Brush. Batting from the left side, he was 0 for 1. Well, I got here in a jacket and took off the jacket. I got the jacket on. I'm going to have to put on the sweater and the jacket. Man, this wind kicked up the pitch upstairs. Again, this set up by a hit, which probably should have been fielded in an air and a walk. Swung on and driven in the air to right field. Jaron Peterson to his left, ranges under it, makes the catch, and Trent Mount gets out of that jam. No runs, 1 hit, 1 Bee Digger error, and the bases were left loaded. Let's head to the second. Brush 1, Resurrection Christian nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bee Diggers lead the Cougars of Resurrection Christian 1-0 as we head to the second inning. It'll be Ryan Fergus leading off. He was at the plate when Trent Mount was caught stealing. And the pitch swung on and driven in the air to left field. That's got some carry to it. Way back along the line now as it drifts, and a catch is made by Iwanicki for the opening out here in the second inning. And again, he stayed with that baseball, and that fly ball hit by Fergus. Here is Ben Brown. Brown had a big 2-run single in a 2-run third inning yesterday, hitting .333, and the pitch from Brent Hayden is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Wine and offering. Swing and a miss. A big hack there by Brown. The count is leveled at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The bases are empty here in the second. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Pulling off the pitch. That's what happened with Brown yesterday. Pulled off 2 pitches in a row, and then he made the adjustment and got the base hit to right center. And the 1-2, and that's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Man, the weather's gotten a heck of a lot worse. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, yep. He was overmatched. Same thing happened to him yesterday. Struck out his first at bat. And just did not look good there. There's 2 down. Here's Ryan Dunker. I had Dunker and Guzman in the inverted order, but Dunker is the 7th place hitter here. The pitch, and that is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be an adventure for balls hit in the air. To the right side, the pitch. Swung on, that ball is lined and caught off the deflection by the leaping shortstop Romero. He jumped, hit the top of his glove, and then he caught it off the deflection. And it's a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the second here for Bryn Hayden. Let's head to the bottom half with the score. Brush 1, Resurrection Christian nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning in Johnstown, or this is getting to be a scene after if this continues any worse. The wind is really starting to blow, and the Beat Diggers have a 1-0 lead. Wow. Who the heck ordered this nonsense? Here's Nate Santini. Just felt a raindrop as well. Yeah, let's just pile on here. Heading from the right side. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on and chopped down the third base side, foul. No balls and 1 strike here to Santini, followed by Hertfeld and Andrew Hernandez, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Cole lays down the sign and the pitch. High. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's why you got to come here fully equipped. And the offering. Swung on and lifted towards left field. Ryan Fergus is going to drift back and make the catch, and there's 1 down. 1 down for the 8-hitter, Jeremy Hertfeld. Be nice to make this a quick game. Man, this is certainly not baseball weather, so you get the outs, you get back in the dugout, and you work the opposing pitcher. Here's the wind and offering, and that's a strike, belt high. Took something off at its 0-1. Mount winds and delivers. Swing and a miss. Threw it right by Hertfeld. It's no balls and 2 strikes. And the offering, well, tried to, boy, time was called, but Mount was in the windup. Well, the hitter was granted time. No balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if Mounts can throw him a pitch that does count. Here it is. Swung on and popped foul and off to the right. Out of play. Count remains at 0-2. The Beat Diggers lead 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning. On a very windy, cold Tuesday, the pitch. Swung on and popped foul again and out of play on the bender. Count remains at 0-2. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a pitch away. And a strike out of Hertfeld. There's 2 down. And that'll send up Andrew Hernandez. First meeting against Brush was 0-2 with a couple of strikeouts. Here's the wind and the offering. Swung on, lined, and into left field for a base hit just above the shortstop Wellen. And the inning is extended. That's the second hit for Resurrection Christian. That'll bring up Jesse Cross, who reached on an error to begin the bottom of the first inning. Mount stretches, short lead at first, and now the runner takes off. Now he turns, and he's going to throw to second. The tag, and Welland tags out Hernandez. And both teams have now made that same mistake, trying to take off prematurely, and basically picked off. No runs, one hit, no errors, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the third. And the Beat Diggers hold a 1-0 lead over Resurrection Christian on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Beat Diggers lead 1-0 here going to the third. That's the same score as the Brush Junior Varsity leads in the second. On the field right behind us, the pitch. And that's down and into Gunnar Guzman. 8-9-1. 1 ball and no strikes. And Bryn Hayden delivers. Swung on, fouled off to the right. Yeah, we got here. There was no wind. But all of a sudden, man, it was a lot worse than yesterday. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right again. On a pitch out over the middle of the plate, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the junior third baseman, Gunnar Guzman. He'll be followed by Colin Cole, and then back to the top of the order with Justin Griffith. And the 1-2. Swung on and chopped slowly to the shortstop. Romero charges, sets, throws in time. Guzman's out by about half a step for the first out of the top of the third. Here is Colin Cole, the Beat Digger catcher. Rush scored in the first on Trent Mount's RBI single. And that is held up. And the pitch outside. We've got everything blocking the microphone, but it's impossible with this one. It's just penetrating. 1-0 pitch. And that is on the outside corner for a strike just above the knees. Count is level at 1-1. And the offering swung on and fouled off the catcher. One ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. The base is empty in the top of the third, and the Beat Diggers lead 1-0. And I have no idea how long this weather system will remain. The sun is out, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't stop this fairly fierce wind here in Johnstown. Cole will settle back into the box. He awaits the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch from the right-hander Bryn Hayden. And here it is. And that's on the inside corner. And it's a strikeout of Colin Cole. And there's 2 down. Yeah, neither pitcher is relying on the strikeout here. Trent Mount has 1 strikeout. And for Bryn Hayden, that was his 2nd strikeout. Here's Justin Griffith. He popped out his first time up, and that's on the outside edge for a strike. On that changeup, it's 0-1. Hayden ready, and the offering. Swung on, foul off to the left. Well out of play, it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to the junior center fielder for Brush. Hayden shakes off 2 signs. Time is called. And Griffith settles back in. And the pitch in the dirt, skips to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, after today, the Beat Diggers will play on Thursday against University, Friday against Strasburg, then They'll be off until a week from Saturday. Right now they're 19th in the RPI, and that is up and away. So they're in pretty good shape. Still would like to get at least a couple of victories here to close out the season. All three would be great. But the competition is tough. The pitch swung on and grounded as short. Romero waits. He sets. He fields. He fires to first for the out as Griffith got down that line, but Romero makes the play. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Bryn Hayden. He's retired the last 6 Beat Diggers. Let's head to the bottom of the third after the break. It's Brush 1, Resurrection Christian nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's move to the bottom of the third inning in Johnstown, where the Beat Diggers lead Resurrection Christian 1-0. And Trent Mount will be facing the top of the order. The top 3 hitters, Jesse Cross, he was at the plate when Hernandez was caught stealing. And it was more, Mount stepping off, even though it wasn't a conventional step off the back of the mound, which you're supposed to do to prevent the balk, but it was not discovered, and the bottom line is it was scored a pickoff. And here we go with Cross to begin the bottom of the third. Both teams have 2 hits in a game, and both teams have committed an error. The Beat Diggers have not stranded a runner. Resurrection Christian had the bases loaded in the first. Wind and pitch. Swung on and grounded to third, and Guzman, nice adjustment on the hop. The throw to first, that's a laser for the out. And let me tell you, that ball kind of died on Guzman, but he stayed down and made the play. And that'll send up Jackson Romero. Romero had a sac bunt his first time up. And righty against righty, the pitch. Swing and a miss, man. Pulled a string on that one. No balls and 1 strike. AC Ice proudly supports local high school sports throughout Northeast Colorado. You can find it at any local grocery or convenience store near you. AC Ice. And the pitch swung on. That is popped up into right center field. Jaron Peterson's got a drift to his left, and he makes the catch. Yeah, that ball's blowing from left to right. Especially off those right-handed hitters. There's 2 down. That'll send up Bryn Hayden. Hayden hit the fly ball that landed behind Ryan Dunker. Scored a base hit. Wind and pitch. Swung on, and he kind of half swing. Dunker has it, nearly dropped it. Toss first underhanded for the out. As he backhanded it to his right. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Trent Mount. We head to the fourth. It's Brush 1, Resurrection Christian nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the 4th inning. The Beat Diggers have the lead 1-0. Here over Resurrection Christian, Jaron Peterson had a base hit and scored the game's only run. He'll be followed by Caleb Cox. And the number 4 hitter, Trent Mount. The pitch for Bryn Hayden is a fastball for a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. We're kind of in a valley here at the park. That's why the signal plays tricks with us, so we apologize. It's kind of tough here. We had a really good signal yesterday in Brush. We made some adjustments there. But on the road, you never know. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the offering. And that is inside. Up 2 balls and 1 strike. Hayden delivers. That's low. Again, took something off it. It's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jaron Peterson. And that's way outside. And Peterson walks. I believe that's the first walk issued by either side. So here we go with Caleb Cox stepping in. He grounded out his first time, but he did advance the runner, which eventually scored. And the pitch squaring to bunt. It's up the third side. It'll be fielded by Hayden. Throw to first is in time. The sacrifice is a good one. 1-3 as the Bean Diggers, who did an excellent job playing small ball yesterday, do it once again today. And here is Trent Mount. Can T-Money deliver again? As he's done so many times this season. The stretch. Long pause. Big lead at second, the pitch. And that is on the outer half for a strike. Mount stepped out, but time was not granted. No balls and 1 strike to T-Money. Peterson led off with a walk to stretch by Hayden. And the offering is way outside. Might have gone with some sort of slider there, not sure. The count is leveled at 1-1. And that was pitch number 51 there for Bryn Hayden. Through 3 1/3 innings. At the belt. And the offer swung on line, caught on the soft liner, throw to second, and that's a double play. Romero was able to step on the bag right before Peterson got back in. And that does it for the Bean Diggers in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. The bases were lefty. We go to the bottom of the 4th after the 1-minute break. It's Brush 1, Resurrection Christian nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Well, moving along here in Johnstown. We're halfway through, and the Bean Diggers have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Hayden Siebers, who grounded out his first time up, the cleanup hitter, to lead off here for the Resurrection Christian Cougars against Trent Mount with a .75 ERA going into the game, and all he's done over the first 3 innings is lower that earned run average. But, you know, he gives up an earned run in this game, and it automatically goes up. That's how good he is in this season. Resurrection Christian has not scored against Brush in the last 9 innings. Innings 3 through 8 in Brush in the first 3 here. At some point, you got to believe they're due, and that's why the Bean Diggers are going to have to try to extend the 1-0 lead. I mean, they still have it going into the 5th, and the pitch. And that's up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Siebers. And the offering. And that's outside. Took something off of that. It's 2-0. Trent Mount threw just 29 pitches over the first 3 innings. That's how efficient he's been. 2-0. Up and away. He's doing the same thing that Hayden did. Getting behind the first hitter of the inning. Hayden was able to induce a soft lineout by Mount for the double play. And that's right down the middle of the plate for a strike. Floral Pharmacy, Western Union, 24-hour payments, gas, Brush Grocery Cart. Up and away. It's a 5-pitch walk. That's exactly what Hayden did against Peterson. Now let's see if Resurrection Christian plays some small ball after the first walk issued by Trent Mount. Chase Henson was hit by a pitch. His first time up, the stretch. Long pause, the pitch squaring a butt, and he pops it up, but that's going to be off to the right, and Cole's not going to be able to chase that down. It's 0-1. The Bean Diggers have held a 1-0 lead since the top of the first inning on Mount's RBI single. No balls and one strike. Short lead at first for Sievers. Will Hinson square to bunt? He will, and he'll take it for a strike. It was right in the middle. It's 0-2. Well, now, if he bunts, he's got to put it in play to prevent a strikeout. No balls and two strikes. Sievers off of first. The stretch by Mount. And the pitch. Swing and a miss on the changeup. And there's one down. Strikeout number 2 for T-Money. That'll bring up Andrew Iwanicki. He popped up his first time out. And, yeah, I don't think is it the undershirt, apparently? Oh, no, he's got some, whatever that is. Something around his neck that had to be removed. So here we go. Yeah, I couldn't even see it from here, but obviously the umpire spotted it. All right, 1 on and 1 out for the Cougar left fielder. Let's see if he squares to bunt, even though there's one down to stretch. And the offering. Swung on in line towards left field. That's going to drop in front of Fergus for a base hit. Throw it to second, but right there already is Hayden Sievers. Resurrection Christian has their 3rd hit of the game. And that'll bring up Nate Santini. Santini popped to left his first time up. So the Cougars are threatening to tie the game or take the lead. Mount stretches the pitch. Swung on. That is popped up. The pitcher, Mount, is going to drift in along the line and makes the catch. I'm telling you, that wind is crazy. Yeah, Colin Cole probably had a better play, but you got to rip off the mask, and Mount, I think, called for it, and he made the catch, and there's 2 down. Wow. 2 down here for Jeremy Hertfeld. Stepping in is Hertfeld from the right side. The stretch. And the offering. And that is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Hertfeld struck out his first time up. The stretch. And the offering. Down and in with a changeup. 2 balls and no strikes. Nice play there by Cole. Runners take their leads. It's 2-0 with 2 outs, and the Beat Diggers up 1-0 in the 4th, trying to keep it at 1-0. And the pitch, oh, very high. And T-Money not in this game here in the inning. And he's got Andrew Hernandez on deck, who had a base hit his first time up. And man, you don't want to walk a hitter that you just struck out in his previous at bat. He's going to be taking it, and he takes it high. It's a walk. 2nd walk of the inning. And the bases are loaded for the 2nd time in 4 innings for Resurrection Christian. Them loaded in the 1st. Here's Andrew Hernandez, who singled and then was caught stealing later in that frame. 2 down. Line by Trent, the pitch, and that is outside with a fastball. That's 5 consecutive out of the zone. 1-0, right down the middle for a strike. Maybe got part of the inner half. And again, 1-1. Any base for the Beat Diggers at the pitch, and that just missed the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hernandez settles out of the windup in the pitch. Man, not even close. Way inside. 1. Here to Andrew Hernandez. And a 3-1. He walked. That's a strike. Wow. That got the top of the strike zone apparently. 3-2. Boy, that definitely could have gone either way. The runners will be going 3-2 to Hernandez. And the pitch swung on and fouled on the changeup off the end of the bat. Count remains at 3-2 to Hernandez. At third is Siebers. Iwanicki at second. Herdfeld at first. 1-0 Brush at the bottom of the fourth inning in Johnstown. The Bead Diggers, after this pitch, more than likely will either still have the lead, it'll be tied, or Rez might even take the lead. Let's find out. The runners go, and that is high, and it's a bases-loaded walk to Hernandez. And Siebers scores. The game is tied at 1. And here comes Jesse Cross, who reached on an error and grounded out. Well, that's all on Trent Mount. He's walked 3 in the inning. And the offering. And that's a strike on the inner half with a changeup. It's 0-1. Mount has been a control pitcher all year long, but he really lost it in this frame. And the pitch, and that's low. He threw 29 pitches in the first 3 innings. This will be pitch number 24 of the fourth. And 1-1. And, he leaned into that pitch. Yeah, he definitely leaned into that pitch. That's going to be a strike. First of all, I thought it was a strike zone on the inner half. Yeah, he leaned into that pitch. There's no doubt about it with that left elbow. In fact, I thought the ball was on the inside corner when he leaned in. And the umpire's keeping the hitter right there. So let's see, there's still a discussion there with Coach Romero, a couple of the coaches. Let's see, did he keep the 1-1? Let's see. The bases are loaded. A bases loaded walk has tied the game here at the bottom of the fourth inning. Yep, it is 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Here's the wind and pitch, and that's down and in. Two and two here to Cross. And Trent Mount get out of it. And the pitch swung on, grounded to third. Guzman has it go off his glove into foul territory. A run's going to score. And it's now 2-1 Resurrection Christian. Off of the air there by the third baseman. And the bases remain loaded here for Jackson Romero. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on, grounded right side. Ryan Dunker to his right will toss to the pitcher covering for the out. But that was a messy inning for Brush, as Resurrection Christian has taken the lead. In the inning, 2 runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and the bases were left loaded. Let's go to the 5th inning. It's Resurrection Christian 2 and the Bead Diggers 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Bryn Hayden beginning his 5th inning of work for Resurrection Christian. They lead Brush 2-1. And the pitch to Ryan Fergus is swung on and fouled off of the breaking ball. No balls and 1 strike. Despite the 3 walks in that inning in the air, the Bead Diggers still have not hit the ball today. They only have 2 hits here off Hayden. And the offering, and that is in the dirt. Fergus flied to left his first time up. Well, that base hit by Mounts in the first inning brought to you by Western Engineering Consultants. That scored the only run for Brush, providing civil engineering services. Swung on, that is popped up into right field. That ball drifting to the left of the right fielder who makes the catch as Santini puts it away for the out. That'll bring up Ben Brown. Brown struck out his first time up. Oh, he just hoped that Brush could score at least a run here at some point. This is the identical score the Bead Diggers won by a couple of weeks ago, and that one bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes here to Ben Brown. And the offering. Swing and a miss. He pulled the string on that one, and Brown was out in front. It's 1-1. And the pitch, and that's outside. Ball 2, strike 1. With 1 out and the bases empty the 5th. The Cougars lead 2-1. The offering. Swing and a miss. Man, he's not even close. Off balance there, 2-2. He's going to have to make the adjustment here. And the 2-2 pitch. And that's down and away with the off speed. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here to Ben Brown. On deck, it's Ryan Dunker. And the offering. And that is low. It bounced in there. Brown walks, and Dunker, who lined to the shortstop his first time out, will now be inside the batter's box. Yeah, both pitchers have struggled at times with control. As we mentioned, Mount walked 3 Cougars, which led to a run. Led to their first run in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Brent Hayden, well, he just issued a second walk. So not that bad. The stretch and the offering. And that's up and in. 1 ball and no strikes to Ryan Dunker. Brown with the lead at first, about a step and a half. And the pitch. Swing and foul tipped into the glove of Hinson. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. With 1 out and 1 on in the 5th inning. Throw back to first. Brown back in diving. It's a nice complex here. Really nice complex in Johnstown. The stretch. Throw back to first again. And back in diving is Brown again. I mean, doesn't have a huge lead, but Hayden's gone over there twice. Dunker awaits. He goes, and it's butted foul to the screen. Well, that was interesting. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You have the runner going and you're bunting. Unless he was bunting for a base hit there. But now he can't bunt. Now with 2 strikes here. Brown with a short lead. The pitch swung on and grounded towards second. It's a slow roller to second for 1 and back to first, and Dunker beats it. And there's 2 down here. As the play was made by Jesse Cross. Two down for Gunnar Guzman. Guzman grounded a short his first time up. Dunker with a short lead at first, and the pitch swung on and lined right off the pitcher's leg. It's picked up by Hayden, throws to first for the out. Guzman hit it hard, but unfortunately for him, hit into some very bad luck there. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We played 4.5 innings in Johnstown. The score, Resurrection Christian 2 and the Beat Diggers 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Beat Diggers trail the Cougars or Resurrection Christian 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning in Johnstown. And again, a rough 4th inning for Trent Mount. He walked 3, forcing in a run, and then an error led to the second run. So the Beat Diggers got to keep it right here before they get to the 9-1 and 2 hitters coming up in the 6th inning. And for Resurrection Christian, it'll be Bryn Hayden, Hayden Siebers, and Chase Hinson, the heart of the order here, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Mount has thrown just 56 pitches, but 27 of those were in the 4th inning. Hayden singled and grounded out, but the single was a pop fly that landed just behind Ryan Dunker, was misplayed over there. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on and grounded for a base hit into left field. Hayden is now 2 for 3, and the Cougars have picked up their 4th hit of the game. Well, they played small ball before. They might try it here. But it is Hayden Sievers. I don't know if you play small ball here necessarily with a cleanup hitter. Sievers has grounded out and walked. He also scored the first run. As he bats here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The stretch. Looks like he might try to square. I thought I saw a hint of a movement of the bat, but we'll find out here momentarily. Hayden off of first, the stretch by Mount. And the pitch, no swing away, swing and a miss on the changeup. The throw is going to be up the second base side, and the ball is going to get by the shortstop well and backed up by Cox. It's a stolen base for Hayden. Yeah, the really took that throw, no balls and 1 strike, and now we'll see if they move the runner over here. No balls and 1 strike. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and lifted deep into right field. Peterson is way back, still going back, and he makes the catch. Hayden will tag from second, and he's into third. Nice play there by Peterson as that ball was carrying. And there's 1 down. Now let's see, the Beatdiggers happen to play the infield in because they've done virtually nothing offensively in this game. In fact, it's not like the Beatdiggers have had opportunities. They have stranded 1 runner through 5 innings. They're playing the infield back. The pitch bounces in, bounces away, bounces to the screen. Cole retrieves, and the throw towards the plate, but scoring is going to be Hayden on the wild pitch. Resurrection Christian leads 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Chase Hinson, the hitter, ahead in the count at 1-0, hit by a pitch and struck out. And he will step back in. Here's the wide and offering. And that's on the inside corner with the off speed. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch extremely high. Count level at 2-1 here. With 1 out and the bases empty in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the offering. Swung on and fouled. A check swing. On a pitch tailing in, it's 2-2. Here to Chase Hinson. What can the Beatdiggers do offensively? They got 6 outs to play with. Here's the wind and pitch. And the breaking ball is off the glove of Cole. I think Cole thought it was going to hit Hinson for a second time. But it had enough tail to it that it did miss the hitter. 3-2. Trent Mount had to get out of a first inning bases loaded jam. He got on a little bit of a roll in the 2nd and 3rd, but lost it in the 4th, and that is upstairs, and he walks. Walk number 4 issued by Trent Mount. Here's Andrew Iwanicki, who popped out and singled. He's 1 for 2. And there'll be a courtesy runner. That'll be Ethan Wheeler, who actually started in the first game against Brush. He'll run for Hinson. 1 already across here, the bottom of the 5th. The stretch by Mount. Long pause, and the pitch upstairs. Mount had a much more favorable strike-to-ball ratio, now at 39 strikes and 27 balls, but those numbers are getting a little bit too close together. The stretch and the offering, runner going, it's high. The throw to second is up the second base side again. Another stolen base. Second of the inning as Wheeler swipes second. And it's 2-0 to Iwanicki. Stretch by Mount. And steps out. Yeah, the B-Diggers cannot afford another run to score here again. They've only got 2 hits in the game. They're going to have to keep this at a 3-1 game to have a shot. And the pitch swung on and driven in the air towards left center field, and to his right, Justin Griffith makes the catch as he lunges to put it away. There's 2 down. Nice play there by the junior. Back to second, of course, was Wheeler, and here's Nate Santini, who's popped out twice. Cole lays down the sign. Wheeler off of second, the stretch. And the offering. And that's right there for a strike on the inner half at the knees. It's 0-1. And the offering. Swung on and grounded to third. Guzman has it on that big hop. He throws to first low, and it skips by Dunker all the way to the fence. A run's going to score. An unearned run there on the air by Guzman. It's 4-1 in favor of Resurrection Christian. And the second was Nate Santini. Here's Jeremy Herdfeld, who struck out and walked. Officially 0 for 1. And now the B-Diggers are in big trouble here, down by 3. And Mount looks back. And the pitch. And that changeup is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Jeremy Herdfeld. Mount looks back, and the offering, and that's inside. Again, the off speed, it's 2-0. With Andrew Hernandez on deck, and it was Hernandez who drew a bases loaded walk. And that's a strike on the inside corner. Ball 2, strike 1. Here to Jeremy Herdfeld. The offering, up and in. That's the other thing. Trent had no walks through 3 innings and now has walked 4 in an inning and 2/3 and 1 pitch away from making it 5. A stretch and the offering, and that's right there for a strike down the middle. It's 3-2. Herdfeld digs back in. Mount, 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 runs across for the 2nd straight inning for Resurrection Christian. And Mount delivers, and he bounced it in there. And it's a walk for Herdfeld, and here's Hernandez. Been on base twice with a single and a walk. And again, the walk drove in the first run. And right now, the B-Diggers been out on that field quite a bit for the last 2 innings. Resurrection Christian only has 4 hits in a game, but they've got the 3-run lead. That pitch is a strike on the outer half. Yeah, the pitching has been better for the Cougars, as has the defense, and of course just a little bit more offense here as well. And the offering, and that's on the outer half for a strike again. It's 0-2. Here to Andrew Hernandez. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on, and 2 in. Cole lays down the sign. And the pitch. Swung on and lined softly up the middle. The shortstop Wellen has it on a hop. Flips to second for the out. Nice play by Nick Wellen. And the side is retired. in the bottom half of the 5th inning. However, Resurrection Christian scores 2 runs on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 2 men left. 5 complete. It's the Cougars 4, the Bead Diggers 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Time to get something going for the Bead Diggers. They trail Resurrection Christian 4-1 at the top of the 6th inning. And batting for the Bead Diggers will be Colin Cole, followed by Justin Griffith, and then Sharon Peterson. Cole struck out looking his first time up. Brent Hayden has thrown 65 pitches, so averaging about 13 a frame. So he's in line for a complete game unless the Bead Diggers can do something. Swing and a miss on the inner half. No balls and 1 strike to Colin Cole. Henson lays down the sign and the pitch. And that's over but low. On that changeup, the count levels at 1-1. Hayden comes home. On the outside corner for a strike above the knees, it's 1-2. Cole looking to protect here. On the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Only 2 hits allowed here by this right-hander. Hayden has walked 2 and let's see, he has struck out 2 as well. 1-2. And that is outside. Yeah, that barely missed. Just off the corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the wind and pitch, and that's outside as well. 3-2. Colin Cole having a productive plate appearance here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Will it pay off? The pitch. Swung on, line towards right field and to his right, and playing it on a hop is Nate Santini. It's a base hit for Colin Cole to lead off the 6th inning. I thought that ball was going to hang for a second for Santini, but Cole leads off, and Carson Rule is going to be the courtesy runner here for Cole. And here's Justin Griffith, who popped out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2. The stretch by Hayden and the pitch. Runner going, swung on line, base hit into left center field. Rule is around second. He'll hang up right there. He'll stay right there. Hang on, I should say. And now the Bead Diggers have doubled their hit total in the last 2 pitches. Just like that, now they're threatening here in the 6th for Sharon Peterson. Peterson has been perfect. He singled and walked. And both teams now have 4 hits in a game. All right, let's see if the Bead Diggers can capitalize. 1st and 2nd, this is their best threat of the game. And a pitch to Peterson. And it's on the outside corner for a strike above the knees. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to the senior right fielder. Rule at second. At first is the speedy Justin Griffith. And the pitch. That's way outside. No throw to second as Henson cocked that arm a little bit thinking about it. Peterson's got a nice alley in right center if he can take advantage. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Accidents and illness can strike at any time, day and night when they do. Every second counts as a level 3 trauma center. Colorado Plains Medical Center is ready to handle any kind of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch to Peterson. Swung on, grounded slowly on the left side. And is the tag made over at third? And let's see. Did he tag him? Going by, and apparently he did. So tagged out was Carson Rule there by the third baseman Hertfeld on the fielder's choice, 5 unassisted. So now it's 1st and 2nd with 1 out. And there's Caleb Cox. Cox grounded out and had a beautiful sack bunt. 0 for 1. The stretch by Hayden and the pitch. Swung on line, caught by the shortstop Romero, steps in the bag, and Griffith is doubled up. Nothing he could do there. Again, the Bead Diggers end an inning for the second straight inning, just hitting into bad luck there. Guzman lined one off the pitcher. That resulted in an out. The Bead Diggers also had a line drive double play earlier in the game. That's the second one, and this time was off the bat of Caleb Cox, and it might just not be the big Bead Diggers' day because they had the threat there, and unfortunately that threat was thwarted. The Bead Diggers pick up 2 hits. They leave a man on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. With a score, Resurrection Christian 4, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Gunnar Guzman is the new pitcher as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Resurrection Christian holds a 4-1 lead. They've scored 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings. Nick Wellen moves from short to third, and Trent Mount from the mound to short. Resurrection Christian is 3 outs away from splitting the season series, but they'll try to pick up an insurance run here in the bottom of the 6th inning against the Bead Digger right-hander. Completing his warm-up pitches, and then we'll be ready to go. Yeah, we'll just be happy to get out of here with this weather here. It would have been nice to parlay it into a Bead Digger victory, but again, they've ended 2 innings on line drive double plays. Another one with a line drive off the pitcher's leg that was completed as an out, and they're just not finding the holes. The pitch down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. This is Jesse Cross, who's reached on an error twice and grounded out. He's 0 for 3. And the offering on the inside corner took something off of that. The count is leveled at 1-1. Guzman looks in, and the pitch, and that is a beautiful. Looked pretty good from here. Must have barely missed on the off the plate, I guess. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch swung on in line towards right field. Peterson to his left, drifting that way, and the ball's going to go all the way towards the fence. I think he misjudged it because the ball tailed away, and he didn't get over there quickly. Rounding second into third is Cross with a triple to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. Yeah, Peterson ran to his left, but he was running at a slower pace. All of a sudden, that ball was twisting away from him, and he realized that was going to be major trouble, and it's a leadoff triple. Here's Jackson Romero, a sac bunt. He's popped out and grounded out 0 for 2. Bead Diggers play the infield back to pitch, and that's down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Brush had a 1-0 lead through 3.5 innings, and then the Cougars scored 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and threatening here. Up and in. 2-0. And the Bead Diggers will face a tougher opponent coming up on Thursday in University. And that's a strike on the inner half, belt high. Ball 2, strike 1. Here to Jackson Romero, the right-handed hitting Resurrection Christian shortstop. Wind and pitch, swung on and foul to the backstop. Romero was part of that basketball team for Resurrection Christian, which was undefeated in the regular season, and then got stunned in the district tournament finals at home by Faith Christian, which lost to Sterling in the finals. The pitch, down and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here to Jackson Romero with a runner at third and nobody out, and the offering. And that is a called strike 3 on the outer half of the knees, and Romero strikes out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll bring up Bryn Hayden. Yeah, that's 3. Yep. That's out number 1. That's a 3-2 count. Yeah. And there was some confusion there, but it was clear. And that was a 3-2 pitch for a strike. Here's Hayden, who singled, grounded out, and singled. He's 2 for 3. He scored the 3rd run for Resurrection Christian. That one bounces in, blocked by Cole. 1 ball and no strikes. At third is Jesse Cross. He led off the inning with a triple. And the pitch down and away. 2-0 with Sievers on deck. These have also been battery mates. I know that when Hayden is caught and Hayden Sievers is pitched. The 2-0 swung on and chopped on the left side, and Guzman's going to let it roll. Now it's off the hitter. Okay, I didn't see that called until right now. That it bounced off the hitter. It's 2-1. It's a foul ball. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. 4-1, Resurrection Christian in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Wind and pitch, and that is on the outside corner for a strike. And Guzman spotting that one very nicely. It's 2-2. Gunnar looks in. And the offering. Swung on and fisted slowly on the ground towards third. The only plays at first made by Wellen. Scoring is Cross. Hayden drives in the run. It's 5-1 Resurrection Christian. Yeah, there was no play at the plate there. And there's 2 down. Here's Sievers, who's grounded out, walked, and popped out. He's 0 for 2. And he steps in here against Gunnar Guzman. Wide and pitch. Outside with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. And Gunnar delivers. Just missed the inside corner. It's 2-0. The Bay Diggers will be sending up the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, and that one bounces in. Trent Mount will lead off the 7th, but they got to complete the bottom of the 6th inning. Down 5-1. And the 3-0 pitch, and that is on the outside corner for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike to Hayden Sievers. Guzman turns and fires. Swung on, chopped foul up the first base side. 3-2. With 2 down and the bases empty, the bottom of the 6th. The pitch swung on and lifted to left field, and Ryan Fergus is there to make the catch. And Resurrection Christian is retired in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors and nobody left. To the 7th we go after the break. Resurrection Christian 5, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bee Diggers need 4 runs in the inning to extend the game. It's 5-1 Resurrection Christian in the 7th. Trent Mount is singled, driving in Brush's only run back in the 1st. And then lined out. The Bee Diggers have lined into 2 double plays. I believe it's 2. I don't think it's 3. I'll have to check that. Here's the wind and pitch from Bryn Hayden in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Mount, Fergus, and Brown, and hopefully for the Bee Diggers, several more. And the 1-0. Swung on and grounded to third. That's a big hop there for Hertfeld. Sets, throws low, and not dug out over there by Sievers. That'll be an error on the third baseman, Hertfeld, and the Bee Diggers have Mount reach to begin the 7th. And the Cougars have committed their 2nd error. Here's Ryan Fergus, who's popped to left and popped to right. The Bay Diggers need a lot more of those, just base runners. It doesn't matter how they get them at this point. Hayden has thrown just 80 pitches. And the offering. Fastball, a strike. On the outside corner at the knees, it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on. That is popped up and twisting into foul territory down the right side. That's a long run. Watch out. You're going to run right into the fence there for the right fielder, Santini. He had no play. Again, with that wind blowing left to right on that swing, no way that he was going to get to that baseball. No balls and 2 strikes on Fergie. And the pitch. That has popped up into right center field. And a long run. The outfielder is converging. It's going to drop right in front of Santini. And into second is going to be Mount. Wow. Boy, that ball again headed towards right center, then just drifted. And it landed right there in front of Santini. And to the left of the center fielder, Hernandez. And the Bee Diggers have 2 on for the second straight inning. That scored a base hit. Looked like a routine pop-up where the ball was hit. Ben Brown has struck out and he's walked. He is 0 for 1. And the pitch. And that's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. The tying run is on deck. An error and a base hit. Both teams have 5 hits in a game. The stretch by Hayden. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss, man. I mean, Ben looks off balance completely. 1 ball and 1 strike. Totally off balance right now. Got to dig right in there. Runners with their leads. Hayden delivers, and that's high. 2-1. This could get very interesting here in the 7th. Especially if the Bee Diggers can load the bases. 2 balls and 1 strike. A big pitch coming up here on both sides. The stretch and the pitch, and that is in the dirt. And the ball gets away. Runners headed towards second and third. Mount is in there with a wild pitch. And into second is Fergus. And now 2 in scoring position. It's a 3-1 count to Ben Brown. Well, I figure here you got to be taking all the way. Unless it's some fad, but I would still take here. High Plains Bank offers a wide variety of products that can be customized to fit your individual needs. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank. That's a strike with a fastball. On the outer half at the knees, it's 3-2. Big pitch coming up to Ben Brown. Out of the stretch. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Brown strikes out. And there's 1 down here for Dunker. Yeah, just did not look balanced today. He really was off on his offensive approach. Too bad they couldn't walk him there. There's just sometimes that happens in baseball where you settle into the box and it doesn't feel right. Dunker is lined out and hit into a fielder's choice, and he swings. Might have foul tipped that ball. It's 0-1 into the catcher's glove. Now at third, Fergus at second. 1 out the top of the 7th. Resurrection Christian leads 5-1. Hayden stretches. Pitch to Dunker, and it's upstairs. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gunnar Guzman is on deck. And the offering. That's out. Oh, a strike. Wow. I guess. Boy, that looked like that was pulled back in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I thought that was definitely off the plate. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted towards center field. Hernandez now comes in. He makes the grab. Mount is going to tag at third. The long throw towards the plate is up the first base side. And now skips over the catcher. Here comes Fergus. The throw towards the plate. The slide, he's in there. So Fergus scores. That'll be an error on Hernandez, scoring the 2nd run. Give Dunker the sac fly. And the Bee Diggers now trail 5-3, but there's 2 down and the bases are empty here in the 7th inning. So 2 errors in the inning here by Resurrection Christian. Pitch to Guzman. Swing and a miss at a fastball. He grounded out twice. Actually, one was not a ground out. It was lined off the pitcher. And the offering. That's a strike with another fastball. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the junior gunner Guzman here with 2 outs and the bases empty in the 7th. And the Bee Diggers have already scored more runs in this inning than in the previous 6 combined. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu. Morgan Community College. Guzman back of the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Bryn Hayden delivers. Swung on and fouled to the screen. Stays at 1-2. If Gunner can reach, Colin Cole would be the tying run. Here's the winded pitch. Swung on. That is popped up. The shortstop, Jackson Romero, into the grass. Backs up and makes the catch. And Resurrection Christian defeats Brush by a score of 5-3. It's a 2-minute break. We'll wrap it up after this on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bee Digger post-game show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center with 3 locations to serve you better. Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan, your headquarters. For all your home, farm, and ranch supplies, from plumbing to feed, Mr. D's Ace Home Center. The Resurrection Christian Cougars win this Patriot League game in Johnstown, defeating the Bee Diggers of Brush 5-3. 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors, 8 left on base for Resurrection Christian. 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors, 2 left on base for Brush. The winning pitcher going the distance was Bryn Hayden, and the loss went to Trent Mount. Time of the game, 1 hour and 37 minutes. The Bee Diggers got on the board first in the top of the 1st inning as Trent Mount delivered an RBI single, scoring Jaron Peterson. That made it 1-0, but then Trent Mount struggled in the bottom of the 4th, walking 3 hitters. The 3rd was Andrew Hernandez, a bases loaded walk, and then Jesse Cross would reach on an error to make it 2-1 as another run scored there. The Bee Diggers, though, did hit into a couple of double plays, line drive double plays. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Bryn Hayden led off with a base hit, and then he would score eventually in a wild pitch, making it 3-1. Nate Santini would reach on an error, a 2-out error. That made it 4-1. And then they tacked on a run in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jesse Cross led off with a triple, scored and a ground out. The Bee Diggers did counter with 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning. A sac fly by Ryan Dunker, and then a run scored on the same play on the back end when Ryan Fergus was safe on the throwing errors. They tried to nail him at the plate, but that was it, as the Bee Diggers could score no more. Resurrection Christian is now 7-1 in Patriot League play. They're 11-4 overall, making 10-4 overall, and the Bee Diggers are 4-4 in league play. And on the season, I believe this was let me check that. Let me make sure that I have that right, because I know not every game was a league game, but I think this was a league game. And the Bee Diggers on the season fall to 9-7. That was indeed a league game today. The only non-league game coming up this week is on Friday when they take on the Strasburg Indians. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, but before we get to that, got to name a Bee Digger player of the game, brought to you by Cargill Beef. Committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. Man, this is going to be tough, really, to name a player of the game. You had 5 different players with a hit apiece, and obviously 3 different players scored. There really wasn't a huge highlight. We'll give it to Ryan Dunker, who drove in the run here. We'll give it to him, who drove in the run here in the bottom half, or the top half of the 7th inning, but nobody really stood out as a huge player of the game, but Dunker's done some good things all season trying to get back on track offensively, and he drove in that run. Outstanding job in her final job with us here in 2016-2017. Julie Garcia is our sound engineer and producer. I'm John Beltran. The final score in Johnstown: Resurrection Christian 5, Brush 3 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.